45%. That's how much we increased intake call retention for a single law firm after making one single change to their voice AI setup. Not a new script, not a new platform, not a new hire, one change, the voice. And here's the part that should make every law firm feel a bit uncomfortable. Every caller that drops off your intake line before completing, that's a case you will never get back. Gone to your competitor forever. Most firms have no idea how many callers they're losing this way. And today I'm going to show you exactly how we fixed it for a couple law firms and every step. So let's go ahead and get into it. Here's one thing to consider. The AI is answering every intake that comes into your firm, every call after hours, every call when your team is completely slammed, every call on weekends, holidays. That voice is your firm to every single one of your callers, not your attorneys, not your brand, not your website. That specific voice is your firm. Therefore, using the wrong voice doesn't just sound bad, it actually does bleed revenue, as you may probably tell, right? Quietly, but it is consistently. Every single day that it's live. But the right voice does the complete opposite. It builds instant trust. It keeps the callers on the line. It completes intake at the rates that compound into numbers. Because this isn't about finding the voice you like. This is about finding the voice your caller trusts. That distinction is completely everything. Now, I want to give you the exact criteria we use every time we select a voice for a law firm client. There are 4 things we evaluate every single time, no exceptions. Your caller is not in a good place when they dial your number. They were just in an accident. They were going through a divorce. They're facing charges. They're scared. The first voice they hear needs to immediately communicate one thing. You called the right place and you're safe. Not excited, not salesy, not overly cheerful. Calm, warm, and competent. We call this the trusted advisor tone. And this is a non-negotiable for law firms most of the time. This is the one most people never really think about, but it is practice area fit. A personal injury firm's caller profile is completely different from a criminal defense firm's caller profile, which means the voice that converts for one will actively hurt the other one. Personal injury callers are often in physical pain or shock. They need warmth, reassurance above everything. Criminal defense callers are often scared and defensive. They need calm authority at this case. Someone who basically sounds like they've seen this before and they just know exactly what to do. Family law callers are emotionally raw. They need empathy first, information second. Immigration callers may have language barriers or distrust of authority. They need patience and clarity above else. And one size does generally not fit all. That's the one thing to take about this specific topic. The voice has to match the emotional state of your specific caller. Now, the third one is pace but clarity. Technical but critical, right? The voice needs to speak at a pace that feels natural for someone processing stressful information. Too fast, the caller can't keep up and disengages. Too slow, it feels condescending and they basically lose patience. We also stress test for clarity on legal terminology, attorney names, case types, firm-specific language. If the voice stumbles or mispronounces, trust generally evaporates instantly. And we test this before a single live call goes through every time. Now, criteria number 4, gender and demographic alignment. I'll say this, what most people won't say out loud, right? Voice to caller demographic alignment affects conversion rates. That's just a thing for me. The research backs this up consistently and ignores it because it feels uncomfortable to discuss, which costs firms money. Now, we look at the firm's primary caller demographic. Okay, so we match accordingly, we test, we measure, we adjust if needed, and it's not assumption, it's data-driven empathy. Let me show you exactly how we apply these 4 criteria in real time. First thing, go to your agent's settings and open the voice tab. This is where We house every single one of the libraries for the voices. Every single voice is in this library. It's very easy to follow. There are a lot of options here. That's exactly the problem for most people. Too many choices without any specific criteria, and it's kind of like a 45-second bad decision most of the time. So what we're going in with is criteria, and that pretty much for us changes everything. So step number 2 is to filter ruthlessly. We immediately filter out anything tagged energetic, sales, or upbeat for law firms. Those are eliminated, therefore we listen to a single one. The main platform that we use for all of this is called ElevenLabs. ElevenLabs has their own voices. A lot of voice AI providers, including Synflow, use ElevenLabs. ElevenLabs is the best for this. So I would really recommend that you guys go into ElevenLabs, which is what I'm showing you here, okay? We stay inside that professional and conversational tone only, and that alone cuts the list in half. Now, step 3 is the preview with real intake language. Here's where most people go wrong. They preview voices using the default sample text, where you can press on the button and it can actually show you what the voice sounds like. But what we do actually is we paste the general voice into a voice AI, and then we have the voice AI call us. If you do not have the voice AI call you, you're not actually going to listen to what the voice sounds like. I have mostly made a list that I will provide down in the description below, where that's generally where we have most of our voices stored. Some of them, obviously, we have another separate one internally, but most of the voices are in there, and this is my gift to you guys in order for you to be able to have the best experience when choosing a voice. But step number 4 is to be able to stress test. We run the voice through the hardest emotional lines in the script, the questions that require the most empathy. I say things like, can you tell me a little bit about what happened? Have you spoken with any other attorneys about this? I just want to make sure that I get all the right information so we can help you as quickly as possible. Now, if the voice holds its warmth and clarity through those lines, it passes. If it sounds mechanical or rushed on any of them, we go back and we try to modify another voice. We take no shortcuts. There's no shortcuts when making a voice AI. This is the voice your caller is trusting with one of the hardest moments of their life, and it has to be right. So the act 4 is the story, okay? So think about this, right? Different firms, mid-size, 8 attorneys, they came to us because their voice AI was live, but their after-hours conversation rate was terrible. Calls were coming in, the AI was answering, but callers weren't completing the intake. They were dropping off within the first 90 seconds, went through the audited setup. The script was pretty solid, it wasn't bad, but the automations were currently running. Obviously, everything was live, and Go High Level was logging everything properly. But the main issue that they were facing is that the voice was wrong. They had picked a voice that was technically professional, but it had a slightly clipped transactional quality to it, which, fine for a customer service bot, but it was just completely wrong for a personal injury caller in shock after an accident. Therefore, we ran through the exact process that I just showed you right now. New criteria, new filtering, new preview with real intake language, stress tested, and we landed on a completely different voice. Warmer, slighter, slower pace, more empathetic, quality on the emotional lines, and then we just swapped it out. And here's what happened after the next 12 months. After hours intake completion rate went from 34% to 61%, almost doubled pretty much. And here's what I want you to take away from this, from all of this that I've explained so far. Every law firm using voice AI has made a voice selection decision. Most of them made it under 60 seconds or got what was recommended to them. Most of them have never revised it, and most of them have no idea what that decision is costing them every single month. The voice isn't a cosmetic decision, it's a preference. It's not something you set and forget. This is the first human, or human feeling, of course, not human, touch point your potential client has with your firm. And first impressions in legal don't just matter, they determine whether that person ever becomes your client at all. So You wouldn't let a junior associate greet every single client who walks through the door without you training that junior, right? Without standards, without making sure they represented the firm correctly, so on and so forth. Your voice AI deserves the same standard because right now, it's greeting more potential clients than any person in your firm. So if you're looking to run voice AI at your firm right now, I want you to do one thing after this video. Go listen to your voice, run your own intake script through the preview, and ask yourself honestly, does this voice represent my firm the way that you want it to? Does it sound like someone my caller would trust? If the answer is anything other than absolutely yes, is it worth a conversation with our team? The link is in the description below. Book a free call if you guys want. No pressure, no pitch. This is just a real conversation about where your firm is right now and what your intake looks like and where you're trying to go. Thank you guys so much for spending the time and actually using a good amount of your time to, listen to me. But the link is down below. I appreciate you guys as always. Kevin Campos here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.